Hi, I will show you today how you are going to render your screen scenes and put them together. One way that we know is that you can just do all your stuff in 3ds Max and render them here. And also you know that you can also add sounds here. And in that way, you wouldn't need any other software. But if you would have different parts of renderings and then you would like to put them together in a separate software, you can do that as well. So today I will show you how to use the DaVinci Resolve software, but you don't have to use that. You can always do your animations just in 3ds Max, so it's not an obligatory way of doing it, but it's also for maybe some of you would be an easier way to do that. Normally we were like rendering our scenes when we were going to rendering and render setup, and here what we always do is that we render the whole timeline, and we just create as a file a video file, which is the AVI file, and then 3ds Max would create a video out of your animation, so it's like quite straightforward. But maybe a more professional way to do that would be not leaving the video making to 3ds Max, but maybe manually do the video making in a separate software. I will show you today how you would do that. First I will change my background to white, so it's then more pleasing to see that. So this was one of the animations we did in one of our tutorials. So it's a car moving just around a circle. As I said, we need to go to render setup, and we need to select the active time segment, which is the 250 frames that we have on our scene. I will change the size. You probably know that you can have different aspect ratios, but the minimum aspect ratio is that it is like 600 pixels. But for this video I will have maybe less. And this time, because we don't want to leave the video making to 3ds Max, we will select a different file. We need to identify the file where this is going to be saved. So this would be image sequences. You can use several image sequences. You can use like bitmap as well, or TIFF or Targa, or even JPEG. I will use Targa for this time. These are the most common ones that people are using. And I will give this a name. And I will say save. It will ask me some details, but they are just okay. So this time each frame will be a separate image in our file. So we won't get a video file out of the renderings, but we will get 250 frames out of this rendering. So when I click render, you will see that now it makes some renderings, and when I go to the source that I identified, I can see that this is creating the images or the frames just here. So if something happens just in the frame of 120, I can just save all the files that have been rendered. So it's a quite a safe way of doing that. So it will take some time to render all of the things. But I even can say that these are just enough for me, so I can stop that as well. When you were rendering it for a video, you wouldn't do that, because you wouldn't get any video out of it, because you just stop it somewhere in the middle. But because you are rendering frames, and each of the frames has been saved here safely, so you can just say that I just need 32 frames, and then maybe you go back and then come 2 hours later and then continue from 32 to 250. So you will just say that this is 32 and you have like 250, and if you, I guess the last frame was like, this one was the 0 and this is 33, so we need to say this is 34, and it will just continue adding those images here. So we wouldn't lose anything when we just cancel this one and then come back a few hours later and begin from the point where we left. But if you render frames, you couldn't have sound as well, so you need to add the sound in the software that I will show you in a few minutes. So it will just render images. So I have some other videos and some sounds here as well, so I can use them to demonstrate you how to create a video in the software. If you don't have it on your computer, you can also install it through this Install University applications. I will create a new project. And the software is quite straightforward. Although it seems quite complex, we are not going to use all the features that it has, so don't be afraid if there are so many buttons and so many options. The most important parts are these buttons here. So these are actually the steps that we need to follow to get our videos done. So first you click this one, and this is the media pool, so you need to drag and drop all the files that you would like to use in this video. So first I will use these frames, so I will drag them here, and it automatically understands that it's a sequence of frames. So as you see, you don't see 60 frames here, we just see the video. I will add some sounds that I have downloaded before, and I will add some more videos that were created during the whole semester. So let's say these would be like some parts of my animation that I would like to use in the video at the end. So the next step is this one. So this is quite the same as our timeline in 3ds Max. So you can again put them here, so it will create automatically one video line or one line for each of them. You can also add manually here some more timelines, and you can drag and drop them like here. As you will see that if I use my timeline, the video that is on top of the others is going to be shown. So maybe I need to put it here in order to have both of them. And I will also use my car animation. But before that, I will create one more line. So let's say this would be the animation that I would like to have. You can also write titles here. So when you click this one and select one of them and put it at the beginning, you will have a title as well. And you can also have many other options, like you can reference music videos that you use at the end, so it will be you can choose any other options to add some text to your animation. So for example, this would be the 3 videos that I would like to use. Another things that you can do in this part is that you can split videos. For example, you say that you would like to have this in 2 parts. You can do this as well here. You can right click and split, so you have like now 2 pieces of the same video. So afterwards that you split the things here, you add the titles, you need to go to the next step. So here you will have some more options, like you can add now sound to your animation. And here as well you can split or cut the end of the files or of your sound. And you can also add new soundtracks here as well. So let's say we have another sound here. This was quite a long one. And you can also add new videos here as well. If you click one of them, for example, our titles, you can also adjust some properties of it. So if I go here, I can say and you can also adjust other properties of this. You can also add here new videos or new materials. So now I have the materials that I would like to have, and they are on the timeline. I can go to the next step. You can adjust here some more options like the colors or give some more effects here. But for us, this would be quite advanced, so maybe you wouldn't do that. You can also here adjust colors, or it's some kind of a post-production, but probably you wouldn't do that. So this would be also quite too advanced for our scope. You can also adjust the sounds, which probably if you had sounds that you created yourself, you need to adjust them maybe, but this is also a bit too advanced for us, so I will just go to the last option. So this is the rendering option. You can say that give your animation, your video a name. And you need to also specify where this video is going to be saved. You can also choose some of the options here, but probably we wouldn't be rendering as big as these ones. So and you can add your video to the queue, and you can also render them by clicking here. So if the render is completed, you will see that it's green, and this is the video that we created in our trial. So we can probably hear the sounds, and we have these different kinds of videos that I put together in this software. Hope it would be useful for some of you. As I said, you can all do the things in 3ds Max, so you don't need to have separate videos. But if you need to have some separate videos and you need to have sounds that need to have some adjustments and etc., so you can use this software as well. So we are just using it to collecting the videos, cutting them into sizes that is useful for our process, putting them together with maybe a text at the beginning and maybe at the end, and then putting some sounds here. And we probably are not going to add some effects or color adjustments, and we probably also not be going to adjust the sound, but then at the end we can just render the video that we put together in the software, and you will have then the video ready to be submitted. Thank you.